Let me bring in Archie Manning. What do you make of this topic, Arch?
Oh, I agree with you. You know, I've known Coach Sperry for a long time. I think he's got some kind of little message there. He tries to throw out there. He's a heck of a football coach. He's a clever guy now, and I think Steve was so bitterly disappointed when his team was playing so doggone good when they came into Baton Rouge 2 years ago, and then I know Florida got after him, and he's disappointed. This is the best team he's had. And they could have beat, even though they didn't play good, they could have beat LSU down there. And I just had the feeling that he was bitterly disappointed after that game.
But you have Alabama as a good team, and look like they're clearly the class of this year's college football. But would you give them any chance whatsoever if they're playing Jacksonville or Kansas City or Cleveland? Whoever?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not in 4 quarters. No, maybe a quarter. But I don't believe you're not going to get Coach Saban to talk about that. But I don't think he knows he knows what's going on. I don't think he believes they could do that either.
LSU's chances of beating Alabama this weekend.
The home, I think the fact that they hadn't played real well on offense. They just hadn't. Everybody's throwing the ball so good around college football, and they're not. And they got this kid can throw now. He's a big, good-looking kid. We had him at he was one of the quarterbacks we had at our football camp there, working out and coaching our kids. But they just hadn't put the passing game together. But they're going to play hard now, Dan. This is, you saw the Georgia-Florida game last week. That's a bunch of athletes.
Wow.
It's a bunch of NFL players out there. And I'm not talking about on offense. I'm talking about, defensively, the backs, the linebackers, they all just run so good.
Arch, they hit. They hit like a pro game when I'm watching the SEC.
Hit.
Man.
That's the difference. That's the difference. And you're going to see the same thing Saturday night. LSU, they hit. They run around. These ends can bring it. I mean, they're going to be playing pro football next year. And, of course, Alabama, they lose 7, get starters, and 3 in the first round, and they just plugged in. You know the biggest difference about this Alabama team, though, Dan? A.J. McCarron. He's Doug Nussmeier's their offensive coordinator now. And he's made a difference in this guy. A.J., you get a team as good as Alabama, you really want your quarterback to, what's the old saying, manage the game.
Yeah.
Manage the game. Well, he manages it, but they trust him, and he can throw the football, and he doesn't give it away. He doesn't do anything dumb. He's a good player.
He's Archie Manning, former Ole Miss All-American, and, of course, father of Peyton and Eli and Koopa. Did you watch the 30 and 30 on Ole Miss, the Ghost of Ole Miss? And I know it's probably about 5 years before you got there. That 62 team went undefeated. Did you watch that?
I didn't get. I've got it TiVoed.
It's powerful. It's powerful, Arch.
I know it is. And gosh, I grew up 80 miles from there, so I was right there. Our National Guard in Drew, Mississippi, got called out, and then. The players on that 62, or the players all along that era, I mean, they were my heroes. And I know those guys now. The Glenn Griffin was a quarterback. Jimmy Weatherly was one of the quarterbacks. They called him the singing quarterback. He had a band. He's a songwriter now. But that was, it was 50 years ago. I mean, of course, a lot of things were different. Time changes.
But you had President Kennedy, who's involved in this that night, where there's riots, people got killed on campus.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you've got a football team that's going undefeated. Pretty remarkable.
The way I hear it, I was, like I said, I was a kid, but the way I hear it, the football team may have saved the university, just because, and maybe football did, because it kind of, it got people a little bit off there. It gave them something else, kind of a distraction from this horrible thing that was going on. And I'm proud to say, not only the state of Mississippi, but especially Ole Miss University is come back really good from that. Things are really, really good up there. We got a great school.
I want to ask you a couple of things here as far as which one of your sons you think right now better chance of going to the Super Bowl playing in New Orleans?
I don't think either team right now is the favorite. Some people might make the Giants because of what they've done twice, but I'm not. Either team right now is the favorite in their respective conference. But I think both teams, based on improvement in the second half of the season, could be in the postseason. And as the Giants have proved right, if you get in the postseason, then you try to make it happen. Then just depending on how your health is and how your momentum is.
Yeah, but you're not answering the question. Which one of your sons?
Which one? I don't know. I'd say that's kind of a dead. Most people probably say the Giants. Let's say the Giants, maybe based on that they were there last year. Although I guess most people would also say, I'm not sure I've really examined this, that it's tougher. In the NFC is a stronger.
That's why I think
yeah.
Peyton has a better chance because.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
If they can get better. I've said all along, Dan, if the Broncos can stay healthy, that they'll be a better team in the second half.
Well, they got to play defense like they did last year.
Yeah, last week.
Last year, I'm talking about last year as a team.
Last year,
they were great.
I didn't see as much of them last year, but obviously you were involved Sunday night. I mean, that was the most complete game they've played, without a doubt.
All right, how surprised are you at Peyton's performance first half of the season?
Well, we just didn't have any idea on his health. We had no idea. And, I knew his health enough to play, not that. I wouldn't, he could get an injury somewhere else. But, the doctor said his neck's fine. But you didn't know about the nerves, throwing the ball, all that type of stuff. So that's been good. The best thing, you're a football fan. The best thing happened, Peyton? Running game. He's got a running game. Yeah, a running game. They had a running. Indianapolis hadn't run the ball since the 2006 Super Bowl season.
Well, you got McGahee. Denver's always prided itself on running the football.
Yeah. Well, when Coach Shanahan's always had a running game, no matter what. But Willis McGahee had a good year last year. But that's a play. And I told Peyton this. I didn't get involved when he's looking for teams, but I knew one thing. I said, Peyton, you're 36 years. Any 36-year-old quarterback needs a running game. You got it, and that's just in Indianapolis. That's what they just couldn't run the ball ever since. Well, really, they ran it after Edgerrin left. The next year, kind of that when they won a Super Bowl, they had Adai and Dominic Rhodes.
Yeah.
They ran it good. But after that, they hadn't run it.
I know you're doing Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year.
You're nice enough to have us on each year. 7th year we've done it. Coach of the Year. We've got a month to go. It's election time. Everybody ought to vote. www.coachoftheyear.com. We'll get the, this is more than just the on the field. It's a vote for you, Coach, what he does off the field, too. And we give not just one coach, but 4 different divisions of coaches. So we honor them. We get down to finals. We announce the finals at the College Hall of Fame dinner in New York, December 4th. We announce the winners at the BCS Championship game in South Florida, January 7th. And Liberty Mutual has dished out $1.5 million because each one of these winners gives $50,000 to charity and $20,000 to the Alumni Association. Everybody needs to vote.
And the website is?
www.coachoftheyear.com. We got a month to go. The voting, this first phase of voting ends December 1st.
Good to visit with you as always. Thanks, Arch.
Thanks, Dan. Glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
All right. Archie Manning.